15 names or so of boxing. I wish all of them would just get pushed to the side and let them fight in their own little, you guys are all the money hunters. You guys are all the venue chasers. There should be like some separation. Right now, I'm loving guys like Keith Thurman.
Right.
The Crawford. Some of these younger, hungry guys.
Errol Spence.
Yes. Even another guy I'm becoming a big fan of. Irslana. Is it
Irslandi Lara.
I'm becoming a big fan of this guy. He gets in here with anybody. He always fights hard. I'm just tired of these guys choosing names and trying to lobby for fights. And even Cotto. I'm at the point with Cotto where I'm like, you got a belt, but you're making people take catch weights to fight you at a lower weight when you got the belt for that division. When you look up the rankings, it says up to 160. You don't have to weigh 160, but you can hold the belt. Sticking to the question, I guess if I was to have him fight anybody, I say if Paquiao's still number 2, then go ahead and try to fight Paquiao. That way, I guess if you beat Paquiao, you eliminate that as another obstacle for you to try to get the fight in the future.
I'll say that they're looking at Paquiao in March 2016 in Dubai. I would like that fight for the simple fact that, again, it's somebody that's trying to carve out their own niche, trying to work their own company. Like Frank Lucas kept referring to his company in American Gangster. Sometimes you just are what you are in this world. And if you're not a Floyd opponent, just move on.
Exactly.
And make your own events.
Exactly.
I think that would be excellent to have a fight in Dubai. And if you were able to pull Showtime or HBO or the big powers in the game, if you're able to bring them to that region of the world and do pretty good pay-per-view, then you take some of the power away from Floyd and the money team. So, and that Pacquiao fight would also be a Khan Promotions type bout. I would like to see Khan and Kell Brook getting on. I think Kell Brook's a pretty interesting guy. I just feel like he's probably coming on to the scene a little too late to get into the Floyd discussion. But I wouldn't mind seeing Kell Brook and Keith Thurman. I think that'll be a good matchup amongst others. I'm good either way, but I do think since it is like a best of Great Britain or the United Kingdom with Khan versus Brook in Wembley Stadium, it's equally as enticing an event as the Pacquiao Khan showdown in Dubai. So I don't think Khan can lose. I just think he needs to really focus on making one of those happen. And there's life after Floyd, and you need to capitalize on that. You spoke of Algieri. Him and Broner are coming out of the losers brackets here, with Broner getting his being soundly defeated by Sean Porter. Algieri doing way better than expected and really upsetting the apple cart versus Khan. But that's now being rumored as a possible fight as Broner versus Algieri. I thought an interesting comment from Algieri was the fact that, I gotta give Algieri credit, man. He's looking to fight everybody who's gonna put on some gloves. To your point, he's looking at facing anybody that's trying to get in the ring with him. He's trying to get better every fight. And one of the comments that I heard from him was that he just feels like and I'm paraphrasing, but he feels like he's a beast because nobody knows what style he's coming with now. The only thing I'll say is he can come with whatever he wants. He just doesn't have that power to really have an explosive ending to kind of, put that cherry on the top of his performances. But I would check out a Broner fight, and Broner actually just turned 26 years old, so salute to him on a birthday.
That division has all sorts of matchmaking potential. I mean, Algieri has fought Ruslan Provodnikov already. He's still in there. I wouldn't mind seeing him against Broner.
Provodnikov?
Yeah. I'm at the point with Broner where it's either make it happen or get out. I mean, he's faced 4 people at this weight class, if I'm not mistaken, since he's been at welterweight.
Right.
He's 2-2. He hasn't even faced an elite level welterweight yet. I don't care. Joey Porter. Is it Joey? It's not Joey Porter. Sean Porter. He's not an elite welterweight. I'll give you that Maidana. He has elite power, but I don't believe he's that top tier. I think Adrian Broner has boatloads of potential. Even the knockdown, the perfect punch that he threw to put Porter on his butt. I mean, I just think in his head it's just something not there. But when you look at the guy's skill set, he could easily go from 0 to first in a matter of 2 or 3 fights. Algieri, to go along with what you said, he can want to fight whatever style he wants to fight. He can say you can't hurt me, and he can stand in the pocket all fight long. But there's some other gifts that need to go along with that kind of style, and he doesn't have those gifts. I love the fact, as we said earlier, he'll fight anybody. You tell me where I gotta be. I'm gonna show up. I'm gonna put on a performance. Even against Provodnikov, he almost got knocked out the ring. I mean, and he got up with one eye closed and boxed the guy and carved him up. Then he came in against Paquiao. I mean, he got put down, 6 times?
Right.
But you never saw him get to the point where he wasn't getting up thinking, and if I'm not mistaken, his brother in his corner had told people he felt like they were going to have a knockout.
That was the whole thing about unleashing the kid.
Yeah, we're right where we want to be. We're right where we want to be.
Right.
And then they hit the 10th round. He says, all right, now we're going to get it. Maybe they don't have a very good idea of what the man's abilities should be, and coming from that kickboxing, wasn't he a kickboxer? Maybe they're used to getting knockouts at any moment, but in boxing, if you don't have that punch in round 1, you tend to not gain that punch by round 12.
Right.
So I think he'll stay around, maybe like a Collazo. Yeah. Where he can continue to get big time fights because they know he shows up. Even though in the last fight,
Collazo got some knockouts though.
Yeah, and I think Algieri is a matchup problem though for people. His height, his length, his speed, but it's just not. You look at him who come into boxing late, and then you look at Sergio Martinez. Very similar, high IQ boxers. Martinez could knock guys out. Algieri can't knock guys out. But I still think that he'll get the fights. Malignaggi, another guy that continuously gets big fights just because he's going to compete. So this division's full of matchups, man. I mean, any of the guys in the top 10, you got Peterson, Crawford, Maltese, Provodnikov, Broner, Vargas.
That's all at 147?
All at, no, they actually have them 140, yeah. And then you got Garcia at the top, who's obviously leaving. So, I mean, Crawford's going to be in the mix. Peterson, Maltese. I mean, Crawford, in my opinion, could jump right back into the top. But, Broner comes up. He gets 2-3 wins. He gets one convincing win. He's right there in the top spot. He's got Floyd. He's got the mouth. So, who knows?
I'm going to be honest, man. I sold my Broner stock. I think it's going to take a change of camp. He's going to have to go and learn under somebody else, and somebody demand, maybe somebody like a Virgil Hill that's not going to put up with this BS, who's working with Berto and Khan, but get with somebody that's really a fighter first, or about boxing first, and all of the marketing and the sideshow antics, all of that stuff later. I just think it's going to take a sea change like that in Broner's life to really, if he's going to capitalize or maximize his potential in boxing. So he is a young guy, and that's the thing, man. He's a young guy that has a lot of time left. But if you're going to devolve into a Berto where you're just one dimensional, guys know how to beat you, then I just don't see you being that successful long term. I mean, boxing is it's a killer. It's a mano sport, and
constantly evolving too. It's one of those sports where you have to constantly work at your craft.
Exactly, your preparation. I mean, if your preparation game isn't world class, I just don't know how you can be world class on the night of the fight. So moving along.
Well, let me ask you one quick question. Do you think for him to ever get better, he has to leave Floyd?
Yeah, he shouldn't even.
I agree.
He shouldn't even have any association with Floyd because you're just not on that level. And that's what I wanted to say, man. Really, we didn't hit on Floyd. Getting ready to get into this last topic, but Floyd and Berto, that fight. One thing that's bothering me, man, with Floyd is that he doesn't dislike anybody. He just, it's all business to him. I mean, he's paid well. He just doesn't have any animus towards anybody else. And I mean, to me, somebody like Berto, he could really get a KO. Actually, for once, get a KO against somebody like Berto if he was to batter him up, for 12 rounds. He could possibly stop with Berto, but he just doesn't dislike anybody. And that's what I like about Artur Beterbiev, Kovalev. A lot of these Russians, they just seem to have some disdain for another opponent. I mean, for an opponent that's stepping in the ring, and you just don't see that in Floyd. So I don't know why I got off on that tangent, but
well, I think it's big because it also shows you what he's accomplished, and I think that's why he started to talk about walking away from the sport, because I think he understands that he's at the stage where he has to create a reason to want to go out here and fight these guys. When you get paid $230 million for one fight, there's probably not a lot of fights out there worth making for you. I think Adrian Broner still has a lot of time. He still has an opportunity to become a great fighter. He has to leave Floyd. You can't run around with the best. And in a sport like boxing, it's not basketball where you're learning under a guy that's teaching you what he does. You can't do what Floyd does. You have to learn how to beat Floyd. You got to be out there thinking, I'm going to take the crown from you. Exactly. And that's why I think he can't get better on a money team.
Back to my point. You're not here to make friends. Right. You're not here to stand in the crowd. Somebody in there has to be a lion amongst the sheep.
Right.
And I'm just not seeing that right now. But before we get into this last topic, as we reach an hour in Showland, have you seen this kid, Amir Imam, at 140? That's currently the number 9th ranked 140 pounder, according to Ring Magazine. Have you seen him? He was on maybe 2 weeks ago.
I actually only caught a few, maybe 2 rounds of the fight that he was in. And I didn't realize who he was, so I didn't pay attention.
Now, he don't like these other dudes.
He's the one that was talking about...
he called out Floyd, which, he has zero shot at that.
I think he actually was talking about Shane Mosley as well.
He called out there. He just said, what's my man's name? Suge Knight. He was just like, look, you got all these guys running around talking... greatest ever champions, and I'm this and that. Let me get him in the ring. But he's only 18-0 with 15 KOs. I think he is a taller fighter for 140. But I like to see him moving forward. But he's so far away from Floyd. But maybe a Errol Spence Jr., maybe a Broner. He probably should stay away from Crawford right now. Maybe a Peterson would be a good matchup for him. I don't know. At any rate, I'm interested to see what Amir Imam does. I can't think of what city he fights out of right now off the top of my head. But getting ready to try to wrap this up. Triple G and David Lemieux has been announced. November 17th. That's actually going to be pay-per-view. I don't know if I like that so much. But... Golovkin still has aspirations of fighting Floyd. It's not going to happen in 49. In fight number 49 for Floyd. This fight with Lemieux could be in the end of the year. Maybe he positions himself. Max Kellerman was saying, if the Lemieux-Golovkin fight was able to do decent pay-per-view wise, it'd be part of Golovkin's argument to Floyd that, hey, I can carry a pay-per-view. And if you get in here with me, we probably could rival the numbers that were done in the Mayweather-Paquiao pay-per-view. I don't know if that's possible. I really don't see Floyd accepting that type of challenge. But just to talk through the Golovkin-Lemieux fight before we wrap up this episode of Pay Me No Mind, I don't think Lemieux can win it. But I'm interested in the fight because nobody really wants to fight Golovkin. So when I see somebody who knows what they're going up against,